as Marine Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally going to be hopping into it pretty soon, and the map is going to be Orbital Shipyard.
Ooh.
I feel like we've seen this map before.
I feel like we have.
I feel like it's a common map, you might say.
It is. I'd say it's the second most common map in tournaments these days, with Dusk Towers obviously being the most common. We haven't really seen anything besides Dusk Towers and Orbital yet. I don't think.
No, I don't believe so, which is a little bit funny. I think actually
Ruins
we did
of
see
Saras.
Ruins of Saras.
Yeah, a
Ruins
couple
of
times
Saras.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one of the more common maps. But ladies and gentlemen, these two players are ready, and we're going to be hopping into it as we get ready to introduce the players. As we spawn up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, the purple Protoss player. Give it up for puCK.
And spawning down in the left position of Orbital Shipyard, the yellow Terran player from Team Gravity. It is Semper.
You know, I'm actually pretty happy to see a good, nice little mix of the different teams. We got Team On Fire representing Kings of the North pretty well. We got like Neeb and Scarlet and everything. puCK coming in as the teamless player, of course, as well as Desro. And then we got Team Gravity over here, which I think a lot of people maybe not as familiar with. They're one of the teams that's been around for a long time and had a lot of this up-and-coming talent. I think Semper really just symbolizes a lot of the up-and-coming talent at Kings of the North right now.
Yeah, I think it does. He, people have been talking about him as a really good player in Legacy of the Void, basically since the early beta. I remember Stefano would stream, and he would do very well. Semper would be taking games off Stefano. It would just, he really understood the game from an early start, and that's quite impressive to do.
You know, I can actually pinpoint a very specific game that really impressed me about Semper. The moment that I realized Semper was going to be a god, or at least very, very good. I'll reserve that term for Neeb. But when I realized Semper was going to be so strong in Legacy of the Void, was actually a match that I saw him play versus puCK. It was the very first match he played versus puCK back in Heart of the Swarm, right before the Legacy of the Void beta came out. He played in Team Gravity Fight Night. And Semper actually beat puCK in some astoundingly cool games where he just did the craziest drop rush. And this is where I was talking about, dropping multiple locations in the same base to just put on the pressure. And puCK actually had a lot of trouble dealing with it. Now, puCK has won the last 2 times that they played against each other, but I am still really interested to see how Semper's going to handle this.
Yeah, so am I. That brings me to mind of the mentality where we're talking about of puCK. That might be in his mind that he has lost to Semper, but you know, winning those recent series probably helps a lot with his confidence.
Yeah.
We do see the Mothership Core popping out, gonna push that Reaper away, and Semper actually going for a Reaper expand into Factory and Reactor.
Very interesting, and it's sort of funny because we also, and this is the first time we've actually seen not only fast tech up to Starport rather than adding on additional builds, but first time we've seen a Reaper opening in any of the PvTs we've seen today. I think the 2 PvTs we've seen, now granted those are only 2 games, not 2 series, because they were best of ones, but still, sort of cool to see, and this really, I feel like, plays to Semper's strengths. Again, you want to get out those medevacs, that is when Semper will start to seize control.
Yes, and he is going for that quick 1-1-1 after expand. Going to be grabbing a reactor. Could this be reactor liberators, or is this going to be some sort of Hellion drop maybe, or maybe even could be Widowmine drop? Still so many options until we see what's actually on the production tab.
I kind of feel like normally just looking at this sort of setup, I would think that it would be reactor medevacs coming out, maybe trying to get out those medevacs as soon as possible in bigger numbers, but you're definitely right, we could end up seeing something crazy like some of that Liberator count building up, maybe getting out some Hellions or doing something a little bit ridiculous and throwing puCK a bit off kilter, but we do end up seeing Semper for now, going to be playing a little bit safe and getting out those Widowmines for potential drop.
Yep, puCK on the other hand did go for a quick robotics, so he's going to have that Observer already out.
That Reaper also gets so close to scouting out that robotics play, but just barely misses it.
So frustrating.
Goes for the probe kills instead. I can't blame him.
Yeah, you never think that there's something just outside of your vision, and that kind of hurts. Maybe he'll see it with this Widowmine drop, but I think he's probably going to go into the natural, so he might not see this incoming Disruptor drop, until the Disruptor is killing SCVs.
Yeah, he does have a couple of Marines positioned, and you can kind of see where Semper is just saying, okay, well, is it maybe going to be, you know, an Oracle or something? Like, where are his Widow Mines actually set up right now? As I know he has 2 out on the map right now going into that drop harassment, but he does have 2 more that are going to be popping out. And where he positions those could also be important, because if you can catch that that Warp Prism, that is one really great way to deal with that harassment.
It looks like he's actually going for another set of 2 Widow Mine drop on the left side of the map. If he can queue these up at the same time.
They're so close to each other. Oh, Steadfast. Is that Warp Prism going to reveal itself to the medevac?
I don't believe so. I think he's just getting set up for that. Wow, really nice Stalker positioning from puCK, and very quick reaction time.
Oh, puCK knows exactly who he's playing, and this medevac's still going to try and find another opportunity. Now, there aren't that many Stalkers out, but the Mothership Core is going to make it very difficult for him to get a whole lot of damage on over here. But as you were saying, another medevac coming in from the left-hand side.
Yeah, and we do see actually a ton of gateways and blink coming down from puCK. Oh, but the Widow Mine's actually burrowing.
It gets taken out.
Only kills 1 probe.
Oh, puCK comes in with the Disruptor on the other side of the map, and is Semper going to split? No, he's pulling all of his workers. He loses a couple, only loses 4 total.
That could have been a lot worse.
It was scary, to say the least.
And we talked about it. Both of them are going to be aggressing each other at the same time, and we did see, I believe, puCK really came out on top. Oh, but that Widow Mine might recharge.
It actually has 0 kills right now.
It shot something that went into the assimilator.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Getting a couple of kills over there. 2 kills.
Only 2 probes. That's not that's a little underwhelming, and it is going to get picked off here. But I think, oh no, he's getting a 3rd Nexus. puCK might be putting on that Blink Stalker Disruptor aggression. We haven't seen a Forge yet, so no upgrades.
Ooh, that Warp Prism is so low in health right now. Gonna just be able to kill off a couple of Marines. And that's the other thing about puCK, is you always think about the big damage to the economy that so many players go for. They love killing off those SCVs, those probes, those drones. But that's the other big thing about the Disruptor drop, is that it's one of these unique units, the very few units in StarCraft, that I feel like as it's just by itself, it can harass an army, not just the economy.
Yeah, and that's really, really nice. If you can figure out where your opponent's army is rallied to, you can just harass that while they're attacking the map. And they might they might look back and try and rally and realize they no longer have an army.
Yeah, it's just suddenly 5, 10, 15 Marines are gone.
Oh, we do see a lot of damage being done there to that army.
And this is what we were talking about. It's that you have to consistently be aware of where your army is, while potentially trying to put on aggression on the other side of the map, but losing those medevacs, both of the medevacs, I mean, losing the units inside of them, that's one thing. Losing both of the medevacs means that Semper really just doesn't feel comfortable putting aggression on the other side of the map. He has built up that medevac count a little bit higher, but he is just so busy now leaving these units at home to defend.
Yeah, and we do see on the right side of the map, there's actually just a ton of vision from puCK. Got a probe on patrol, a pylon, and an observer. There's nothing sneaking in on that right side. Left side.
Disruptor! Oh, gets some good hits over there. I think even kill off a couple of workers. As we do, I'm seeing 8 workers killed down, so 2 more workers going down, as well as a decent chunk of the army. And remember, every single time he picks away at that army, puCK just gets further and further ahead on that army supply. And yes, he's not ahead just yet, but it's about the fact that he has 3 Disruptors and a bunch of Stalkers that have Blink, and it's just a better army. If Semper's army isn't bigger than puCK's, then puCK is just straight up winning the game.
Yeah, and well, this is a scary army. You have 4 Disruptors and a ton of Blink Stalkers.
Remember when I was talking about the frying pan when you miss those Disruptor shots? This doesn't happen when you have 4, 5, 6 Disruptors.
Yeah, you have 4 frying pans.
Yeah, you smacked the waiter in the face with your frying pan.
Yeah, he was not expecting that, and Semper might not be expecting this. Actually clumping 2 of his Widow Mines, might lose both of these. Actually does lose him the Disruptor shot. That's a big deal. Really needed that to anchor his defense, but setting up those Liberators might be able to lock down this front.
That's definitely helpful, but of course there are Stalkers with Blink, and it's just a pure Blink Stalker army besides the Disruptors. Stalkers actually blinking on top of the Liberators, getting some nice pickups. Disruptors also keeping this big hits, protecting the Stalkers, and look at this. I think that with some good micro, puCK should have a massive army supply lead and should be able to push on through.
Is going to blink forward on top of that army, actually sending for the SCVs.
Oh, were you pulling the boys? Oh no, I'm sorry, I have Disruptors, sir.
And we do see the Disruptors just reigning supreme. Disruptors, no, more like puCK-ruptors.
Yeah, this is just, you know what, if there's anything that puCK is going to win with, it's going to be the robotic facility units. He is so keen on those robotic facility units, and he blinks forward, potentially for that final victory, throwing out some final disruptor shots. Semper maybe just hoping to get 1 or 2 of these disruptors as a consolation prize. Unfortunately, that will not give him any of these games, as he does end up falling. GG gets called. puCK coming out victorious.
puCK looking so happy right there.
Yeah.
Pretty, that's got to feel nice. Oh, big smile on his face, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty dominating victory. Not only does he hold off that aggression from Semper, but he puts on his own aggression, picks Semper apart.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what like we were saying before. Semper was looking to get to that mid to late game without taking too much damage. Steadfast, he took too much damage.
He took way too much damage. We looked at the units lost, and it was 4 probes to, what, 10 Marines, 4 Marauders.
It was a little bit silly.
4 Widow Mines, 3 Liberators. Yeah, just so much.
Yeah.
It was just really, really picked him apart with that.
Absolutely. But we are going to be taking a look at that replay just to get a bit of an extra highlight of that great control from puCK. But I will say also, Semper, I like the fact that he stuck to his guns, played with his playstyle, going for Reaper harassment, getting at the fast medevacs to go for the Widow Mine drop. I mean, that definitely plays to his playstyle, but just puCK was so ready for it.
He was, yeah, that's a good point. And this was a big deal right here. Trying to focus maybe just a little bit too much on those probes. Did get one, but he didn't see the
robotics bay. So important. Again, those stalkers set up for puCK over there really just disallowed any of the aggression to happen for Semper. Semper tried to make the aggression happen with his other drop on the other side of the map, trying to drop with both sides. And yeah, one of these Widow Mines almost manages to get a kill, but it just really doesn't do the damage it needed to.
Yeah, nice split from puCK coming out there. Saved a lot of potential damage. And meanwhile, double photon overcharge in the main.
Cleaned up the other Widow Mines before they got a single shot off, or before they even burrowed, killing off the medevac as well.
Yeah.
And from this point on, it was really just Semper trying to play a little bit of catch-up as the Disruptor comes in, picks off army units here and there, beautiful shots, and again, killing off that army not only makes it easier for this big push to happen, but it stops Semper from putting on more aggression.
Yeah, and so quickly, immediately targeting down those Liberators. Nice split there from Semper, but at that point, the damage was already done.
It was done. He needed better than even trades.
Yes, he needed very exceptional trades.
Yeah. But, of course, puCK going to feel very, very comfortable taking that victory versus Semper, as we end up seeing, of course. Yeah, a very, very comfortable victory, strolling on through. This is the thing. You have to remember, puCK is a very emotional player.
Yeah.
So, taking in that victory, and actually I would say Semper did him a little bit of a favor, being able to bask in the glory of how well he did that game.
Yes, even being precise there with the Disruptor. One of his Stalkers was kind of on top of the Terran army.
No, you know what? I got your back, bro.
Slightly
I
to
got
the
your
right.
back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to betray you.
Yep.
Other Protoss would betray him. In fact, other Protoss would sometimes intentionally destroy their own Stalkers as a show of how far ahead they are.
Yeah.
But not puCK. puCK is a pretty mannered guy.
He is pretty mannered.
He's a bit of a troll, but he's pretty
yeah.
mannered.
Yeah. As well played to puCK.
Yeah.
And
well, our next match is going to be Masa versus Semper. So Semper going to have that redeeming chance. Now, I will say again, Semper, probably one of the underdogs in the tournament, but that was probably his weakest matchup.
Yep.
TVT, Semper was telling me, I wish there were more Terrans that qualified, because TVT, he feels like it's his best matchup, and he's a little bit sad that the only TVT he gets to play is against Masa.
Yes, the original King of the North, winning the first online
games,
tournament.
Yeah. Also,
and yeah, he is such a force to be reckoned with in TVT. It's just so hard to challenge someone like Masa. Yeah. Semper is definitely a player who can do it, but it's
bust out all the stops.
Yeah, it's really not your favorite thing when you're so good at TVT and then you have to run into a player like Masa.
Yeah, it's kind of just like saying, you take whatever player, like, oh, you really like PvP. Well, here, go play against Hero. Oh, you really like TVT, or you like this matchup? Yeah, go play against Maru. You actually, literally, you are going to be playing Maru.
yeah, exactly.
That's his name.
Yep.
Oh.
Looks like we can take a look at the group scores, actually.
Yeah. See how things are shaping up behind the scenes on all of this. As we do still have, I think, a Scarlet waiting on some of those matches. Only has that one loss.
Yeah, Semper is now 0-2, it would seem. Still looking for that first win, but Desro as well. So eventually, Semper versus Desro, we're gonna see that match, and one of them will be able to get on the board.
Yeah, guaranteed one of them will get on the board with that. Of course, Scarlet technically not on the board either. It seems according to the overlay.
Well, she did beat
Yeah,
me.
she did beat, and she did beat Desra as well.
Yes. puCK looking like he's undefeated right now.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
But ladies and gentlemen, we should be hopping to that next series pretty soon.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Next series, what is our next series going to be? It's going to be a TVT.
Yeah, TVT.
Yep. Masa versus Semper.
For Semper. You know, that's also really frustrating, right? Where you lose a game like that to puCK, and now suddenly it's like, go face Masa. This is the matchup you said you were feeling good about. It's like, you know, kind of bittersweet victory.
Yeah. It's bittersweet victory. Yeah. That's life.
That is life. You gotta deal with it.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't actually know what song you're singing.
Bittersweet Symphony?
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, I know the intro.
Yes.
That's it.
That's all you.
You know, I
need to
know
That
so many
is-
people who use that song as their like ringtone.
Really?
It's absurd.
Huh. It's kind of haunting. I
It
like the
is.
song, but I don't know if
It's
I
very
feel
somber.
Yes, yeah. I feel as though if I received a call from someone just after hearing that song, I would expect bad news.
That's so true.
Yeah. It's you got the jobs. Thank you.
You know, this would explain so much about when I talk to those people.
Yeah.
Give them good news. I'm like, hey, I'm casting Kings of the North. Oh.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm not then.
Yeah.
It's like it's your mom.
It's like, like,
Yeah,
Mom,
she's-
well, why would you cast? You don't even know what StarCraft
you,
is.
what's
You
wrong
don't even
with
know
you?
that I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Truth comes out.
but ladies and gentlemen, I think as soon as Masa is ready, we're going to hop into the next series. Again, going to Orbital Shipyard.
Yeah.
But I believe we may be able to take a short little break.
Yeah,
as
that
we-
would
Before we hop into the next game, potentially.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, looks like we're going to be
All right.
going to a quick break.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be starting with the next series pretty soon. You guys are watching Kings of the North.
Do not go anywhere.